Hello there. So in this video, I want to look on a different AI generated images that we can use it as a textures in 3D modeling creations. So not all of the AI generators are equal. Of course, you know about this, and most of them actually produce just flat image that does not, we can use as texture, but it is not truly texture. However, some technology or some providers would have found it is creating truly PBR materials with the AI technology, AI generated art, text to image or image to image. So let's go look on all of these different services. Hopefully they will provide for you some information. You'll find something that may be useful to you. As well, we're looking how we can install and use it with a Blender or use it standalone. And now with AI technology that allowed us to create images from the text or image to image, you can create a very interesting textures. Before, many times when I created, I used all different applications like Filter Forge or Texture Creations or Alchemist or some other ones to create textures. And now it's a little bit easy because now you can type the word wherever you need it, like you want to create texture metal plate, and you can just type inside the applications, Blender, or maybe separate applications and create that on a fly, which is kind of very nice. However, not all texture is same. Most of them is just a flat image. And what I mean by flat image, let me show you example what we're going to do. Right here, we inside the View application, and I created a simple cube. We can preview in our sessions. Let me actually create just a little bit bigger for us, so we can view a little bit better in preview. And right here you can see cube. It's applied some texture to this already. You know what, let me see if I can bring, because I need access at least that property. There you go. And let's go ahead inside the cube, open the material, and we open material. You can preview, it says PBR. This very similar will apply to many different applications, including Cinema 4D, Blender, and so on. Mostly it is PBR material. It's kind of industry standard in a way it's access. They can be approached one way or another, but generic, you will see they're all similar. And mostly what we have it's options that describe materials for us. We have our color description, alpha, bump maps, normal, displacement, metallicness, roughness, ambient occlusion, reflections, clear code, and effects. It is specifically to the view things. So as a color right here, you can see it can be procedural or it can be image based. Currently it's procedural, so we can go ahead and switch to the mapped picture, which we can use it by uploading image. And I'm just going to upload it a simple image that created, which is just a flat image without any other specifications. We can see it is even its stylus image one was created, but what I said in other videos, or you can preview, it is, you can see some tiling to this. So we can remove some tiling by increase X mode or increase our scale for our materials. And you know what, let's go ahead, maybe 4. Let's go to 2. This one should be just enough, about maybe 4. Okay, let's go increase scale because it is mapped or standard. You know what, object parametric should actually fix this problem. Yes, I should switch on the beginning. Okay, there you go, object parametric, and you can see we have it nice, beautiful, applied. Let's click OK, and it's not bad. With good image, it's still be not bad at all. And when we render, we can preview. It does apply it, but notice on this, we don't really have it any shyness. We don't have metallic. It's look very flat. So for this reason, we need to apply additional options to this material. Even if we select some other material, maybe more as a metallic, we can go and manually try adjust, but again, it still look very, very flat. So let's see what's happening when we apply correct materials, which provide for us more information. So for this, we'll go back. And we'll go ahead and preloaded our image for what we created before, like our materials. But notice also we have our normals. So now we can also go ahead and preloaded normals that we created. We also have it ambient occlusion, roughness, and height. So The height may apply it to the displacement in some cases, or could apply to the bump. I will just use it for the displacement at this time. Okay, we'll go to the height. I also have it ambient occlusion. Okay, right here, and we also have it our roughness. Sometimes notice it does not have it metallicness, which I kind of will be nice because it will add reflection, and mostly it's probably I need to play a little bit more with those materials. But at this time you can see like right here, even in a preview, notice how it's already changed shape of material. Okay, let's go ahead and click OK, and we'll go pre-render this image at this moment. Okay, so render completed, and you can see right here how it's changed. Look on the shape of the edges. It's already, you can see roughness, you can see the real material. Just to make us test without this, we'll just go ahead and disable all of these maps before we applied any of them. Okay, let's go to constant on this case. Ambient occlusion, same constant. Okay. So we'll go click OK this one and render so we can kind of compare them. Okay, there's completed. And we'll just select two of those images. Okay, right there. And we can compare them. And notice what's happened if we look through all of them. Look on this, how huge different it is between not PBR, and that's what majority of AI render will give it to you if you have a just flat image, versus correct material creation. It just come alive. So this is how huge different is affecting the real material when we're creating. So let's go ahead right now, look on different type of the materials creation applications, how we can create and make them. You can also produce simple textures directly on your computer with utilizing local install and stable diffusion. Right here, example installation with a UI from Automatic 111. All what we need to do is just says texture at the beginning, which one you want, a shiny, metal, also resolution you want to provide as well. Enable tiling. So this way I can create all these different textures and use them. Keep it in mind that texture that we're using here, it is just a flat image. It does not truly 3D textures. It's more as an image that we can wrap around this. Same things if we're using as an invoker UI, the different ones which also utilize a stable diffusion engine on the back. Very similar things, but you can do same way just to render textures by utilizing word texture up front. I found this work very well, and as well seamless styling if you needed that. You can also do this inside the Midjourney example or other things. However, be sure you're paying properly options applied to these, because if we try to do this way and enable tiles, so we'll have a key tile. We currently run this on version 4, so if I try to do this, it's come up error and says version 4 does not support tiles. So in this case, we need to do metal plate, we need to do tile, and we need also specify version that's supported, version 3. So this way we can create it. And of course, if you have some image you want to reference, you can easily download this image. Okay, let's go ahead right here. And you can right click, copy image address, and we can also make texture based on this. Texture, metal, whatever we want it. Let's go version 3 because I want to tile. So we can do based also on the image if we need it. So same with the inside of Midjourney, you can create it textures. It does say tiles, so it's meaning this edge will look exactly the same as bottom. But if we look on a bigger scale, we can still see tiles, because I can see the luminosity level is different coloring. So you will notice when I'll show you example on this one. To get add-ons for the Blender as Dream Textures, you can first download a code for this, and this add-on available or on a GitHub directly. Link will provided below in descriptions, or if you want it, you can go directly to the Blender market, which I kind of more recommend for this, and just go download it directly from the place. And you'll notice you will have a downloads available there for the Mac OS, Intel, ARM. You have it also Dream Studio, and you will have it also for the Windows and Mac. Let's look a little bit on these versions. Dream Studio will connect to external servers, so in this case you don't need to run on your local machine, and this is in case if you have it AMD video card, not NVIDIA with the CUDA processors. For me, I'm going to get with a CUDA processor this Windows that will run on my local machine, and I don't need any external account. Otherwise, if you're using Dream Studio, you will require external account to Dream Studio to use this. Also notice you'll have it the Mac ARM version and Mac Intel. So be sure if you're using Macintosh systems, Mac OS, you'll use it on the computer that utilize specific processor. Okay, after you download it, right here, download all of them. You don't need open. You can, if you want it, you can open actually and look inside what code is using. It's generally it's what I did just to verify what files is this. However, to use with the Blender, you just need to leave it as a zip file. If for some reason you have it like 7-zip or some other ones, you want to be sure it's open and it is in a zip file. So next we're going to with the Blender, and be sure you have the latest version of the Blender. Currently it is 3.4.1. Latest at the time of recording to upload it, and we need to go to Edit, go to the Preferences, and inside the Preferences go to Add-on. And Add-on you'll see all your files. What we need to do is going and click Install. On install, you just navigate to place where it's located. For me it was in Dream, and you notice right here it's have a zip file. I want to be sure I select it properly. For me it's a CUDA. If you don't want to run locally, you want to select different, and when you're done with selection, just go and click Install Add-on. After installation complete, most likely it will showing the installation done, and it may take a little bit time because it's a large packet. If it does not show, you can we can go just type Dream Textures, and it's showing for us. Next things you want to enable by clicking on a checkbox. Keep in mind it depends on your system installation. Other things it may give it error. Then you want to go to just the Restart Blender, and overall I do recommend before you enable this large plugin, do restart your Blender. So let's go ahead, enable, and you can see no errors come up. Anything's next, we want to go expand the properties for this plugin, for add-on, sorry. Important things for us to notice here, it seems like all installed correctly. The version 008, it's latest version that's available for the current add-on. And if we look on the setup right here, we need to connect a model. So, and this is model is specifically for Stable Diffusion, and you notice right here SD version 1.4. Currently Stable Diffusion is 2.1, but this plugin does not support the latest Stable Diffusion, so be sure when you download it, you download the version 1.4. To download it, you need to have an account with Hugging Face. This is service. Easy, just click on download and you'll notice right here will open. If you not log in, it will prompt you to log into this account, and you need downloaded just SD version 1.4 SKPT. So this version you need downloaded. Okay. After download complete, we need to go click Import Model Weight. Navigate to the place where you save it. Right here we can select, and we click Import Model Weight. The model usually about 1, 2, or 3 gigabytes, so it's large size, and it may take a little bit time till it's imported. Okay, after import successfully, it says model import successfully. You'll notice it will display in a list of the model. Possibly you can add more than one model at this time. Let's go look down what we have. We have a Dream Studio optional. If you connect it, with your key. Currently I will run locally, so I don't have it. If you install Dream Studio, you will need to put your key directly there. And in a Dream Studio, if you need to create it, it is a beta dreamstudio.ai. You need to create an account if you don't have it. This has allowed you to connect to the API and process on the servers. However, to process this, you need to have credits or pay for the service. To do this, you'll just need to go inside your account. And you can see I'm currently have 100 credits available. Purchase, you need to go inside the API key. I already created one, so I can copy this key. You can also just click and create new API key, which will made it. After you create API key, copy. Okay, let me go copy this way. And after, you can just paste your key in this area. That is how you will connect. On this case, you will be accessing and run externally. However, because I have a 3090 video card, I will run this locally. And after, you can follow direct instructions, open image editor or a shader editor space, view, sidebar, and select Dream tab. So let's go ahead and follow this. Okay, so let's go ahead, click on drop down and select that image editor. Okay, so let's go ahead, open. You can use hotkey or just click on the arrow to expand and access our tabs. Notice as we expanded, we have a new tab available for us. It's called Dream. So let's go ahead and click on the tab to activate. Okay, so let's go check our properties. You can see we have our model. If you have more than one model, you can select from here. If you use it before, like Photoshop plugin, you will find it's very similar. Prompt, we have a different texture, photography, custom, all of that. So I'm going to create textures and let's go create shiny metal scratches. Okay, we can enable seamless, so it will be just add tiles, seams both sides. It's what we wanted. We don't negative. More will apply with normals, so we'll just leave a default 512 by 512 will good. If you run locally, 512 is probably will utilize about 10 gigabyte of your VRAM. If you have a bigger video card, you can make bigger textures. In many cases, 512 may work okay. We'll just leave it source image. If you want to use it, base it on some other images, which kind of nice because you can have a photo of the grass, put it in and use this one. As well, we have advanced options where we can have it seed, constantly and random seed. If you created some texture that you like it and you want to use it, be sure you save the seed number and you can put it in and use it. CFG is how close keep to the prompt. 7.5, it's about right. I like to keep it around 11. You can play around with this. Simpler, sampler as well. The DAM, it's kind of more, we can go on the technical. Usually KLMs, what you leave it as default is fine. Show steps, this is how many take it. 25 is a little bit lower. Usually let's go put it to about 50 steps. It's how many permutation. We'll give it enough details, otherwise it will be very light on details to create it. We'll leave it as default and we can go ahead and click generate. Okay, let's check our generation right here. GPU load is normal, and if we look a little bit on our memory, currently we're using 16 gigabyte. So I think they're utilizing a little bit older version because newer Stable Diffusion, they work a little bit better with memory management. Just keep it in mind. This is used dedicated GPU memory. If you run out, it will start using shared GPU memory, which is quite a bit slow down your process, but it still leads to running this way. And you can observe how it's running at this moment. Let me move away. And I'll just want to check a couple things. Yeah, I wish it was a little bit progress here to showing me what is status on the processing going on, because currently only I can say is by utilizing GPU memory, it's processing. Load on the GPU itself, it is not very high, it's only 27%. Okay, so at this point we're done rendering. It's a little bit jump up utilizing on GPU memory. because I think it's upscaling, but right here you can see it's already start creating our texture. Of course, we need to play a little bit more with the prompt to create currently texture, maybe play just a metal plate or some other words and see how that will work. Actually, I think maybe it's still processing because we're still utilizing quite a bit of GPU memory at this time. Also, if you notice, it's come up and says like update available, and update for the pre-release 009 version. Currently, I think it's 008, and I like to work a little bit more with a stable, because if you have some errors come up, it's a little bit harder to trace. Okay, so let's look on also a couple of additional add-ons on this. If you expand AI upscaling, you'll notice right here you can create these to make image a little bit better, a bit bigger size, but you need to download additional weights, similar to what we done before, additional models if you need to use it. My biggest problem right now with using texture inside, this is just the image. So same things what you can do, you can create this image inside the Dream Studio itself or inside Midjourney or whatever. It's not truly texture. What I'm meaning by not truly texture, it does not provide for us channel as the normals, displacement, roughness, and other ones if we want to do with PBR model. The next one I want to look, it is different, same AI generate image, but it's a little bit more than that. It's what allowed us to actually create PBR materials. Sorry, I also forgot to show you, if you want to enable the process to see how it's going, we'll just need to enable the show steps. And you know what, let me switch this to color A, just different type of the samplings. We'll go this way and show gizmo, that all here. We'll go ahead, click starting, and at this point we can preview how does it take Perlin noise with the Gaussian noise then applied, and it's going through all of the sampling. And here is done our processing. Okay, as we look on all different texture creating, they have it one biggest flat. They only produced flat image single for us. And as we viewed before, it's not truly PBR materials. It's just only the image or coloring will overlay. Sometimes it may work, but for the best performance and 3D texturing, we want to have materials that provide more information for us, provide like roughness, normals, and so on. This other application what I found, it is created by Armor Labs. It's actually utilize text to image or image to image, but it is creating truly PBR materials. So if we look on the display what's happening, you can see it's AI powered. We'll look a little bit closer in a second on this application. You can use it photo to the material, so it's an image to material. We can also use a texture to material, text to materials. It's apply tilings and other ones. Upscale variations, also very nice, is provided in painting, so it's meaning we can apply some small details inside our image, and it's also cross-platform using, however, notice right here it does not utilize cloud, so it's meaning it will run on your processor on your machine, and that will be you need good GPU card for this to run it. So you can get this program a couple of ways. You can use it as developer for free, downloaded code and run. And tell you true, it is not as easy as look, because you'll do need to install Visual Studio if you do on a Windows, compile, build, deploy, do all this stuff. But if you like to go on a code, you can view this. And I did download the code so I can run through the, just verify if everything okay with the code on this way. However, I would highly recommend for you just to going and purchase and download this application. The download is not free. If you want to download this app, they're actually for sale. Okay, right here you can go, and it's sold through the Gumroad. So if you purchase something from them and you see the charge was done by Gumroad, this will be legit purchase, and it's cost $20 US dollars. It's 20.5 I think right now. In US dollars, so it's not bad price for this application. Let's go ahead, open now and look closer. As we open application, we can see preview right here. We have a 2D view. We can switch to 3D preview on the texture, which is kind of nice because we can preview how material applied. And it's a node-based system, so it's right here. We have our node. By default, you can see it's a photo to PBR, so we can actually take photo and convert already output on the base colors. Occlusion, roughness, metallic. It does not have the displacement, maybe sometimes in the future. But to convert like text or AI image creating text to image, we need add additional node. Doing this, we can click on a nodes and select the text to photo. This will add additional node, and we'll just need to connect the color to the color. Let's enable also our tiling. And in the prompt, we can type shiny metal. Okay, to process, we'll run. Before we do this, I want to show you, you have a 2K lower, 4K, 8 and 6K, so you have a different resolution. But for high resolution, you want to have a video card with a more VRAM and better processing. So let's go ahead, click on running, and you notice it says start processing. It does not give me exactly process or preview. However, I can open my task manager and monitor to the task manager how much it's using memory and how loaded is GPU. So you can see right here we started, it does utilize, however, it does not utilize a lot of memory, which is kind of nicely managed, but a GPU little bit jump up, which is what to expect. Okay, so right here, our render done. And I just put shiny metal. You can see some elements applied. We definitely need to work a little bit more, and usually because it most likely utilize stable diffusion engine. Probably what I find better, let's go and try different strings in other machines, and after use it here, so it will be closer as well. You can use it specifically photo to create your image. What is most important to me, it's this output, metallic, all this stuff. So let's look through the viewport modes, and we can see our base color. We also have it our normals. Notice it's different channel for us produce. We have it ambient occlusion, roughness, metallic, if any applied right here, just a little bit. I think I see some metallicity, but we have it also opacity for glowing objects and height. Again, keep in mind this is a beta version. Hopefully eventually they will develop a little bit better than this. Well, I mean, add more channels, not better, but it is probably improvement some other ones, but it is very, very promising application. And even at this stage, I found it's quite a bit useful. So the next, let's go ahead and export our texture. Actually, I don't want import. I want file, and I want export our textures. As we render to PNG format, we'll just give it all of this. Let's select destinations. And now we export our textures. So let's preview them. And here's our textures, our base texture, the height, the normals, occlusion, and roughness. Notice we don't have it like metallicity and opacity and other ones because there was 0. We need probably work a little bit more inside the application to make some of those channels. But again, this is very nice. I will probably experiment more with the glowing materials. We'll see what we come up. But it is required a little bit more practice. And how I say, it is nice if you're going in a stable diffusion and create the text strings for this as a first as well. Image to text work as well. You can also produce a symbol textures directly on your computer with utilizing local install on a stable diffusion. Right here, example installation with a UI from Automatic 111. All what we need to do is just says texture at the beginning, which one you want, a shiny, metal, also resolution you want to provide as well. Enable tiling. So this way I can create all these different textures and use them. Keep it in mind that texture that we're using here, it is just a flat image. It does not truly a 3D textures. It's more as an image that we can wrap around this. Same things if we're using as an invoker UI, the different ones which also utilize a stable diffusion engine on the back. very similar things, but you can do same way just to render textures by utilizing word texture up front. I found this work very well, and as well seamless styling if you needed that. You can also do this inside the Midjourney example or other things. However, be sure you're putting properly options applied to these, because if we try to do this way and enable tiles, so we'll have a key tile. We currently run this on version 4, so if I try to do this, it's come up error and says version 4 does not support tiles. So in this case, we need to do metal plate, we need to do tile, and we need also specify version that's supported, version 3. So this way we can create it. And of course, if you have some image you want to reference, you can easily download this image. Okay, let's go ahead right here. And you can right click, copy image address, and we can also make texture based on this. Texture, metal, whatever we want it. Let's go version 3 because I want to tile. So we can do based also on the image if we need it. So same with the inside the Midjourney, you can create it textures. It does say tiles, so it's meaning this edge will look exactly the same as bottom. But if we look on a bigger scale, we can still see tiles, because I can see the luminosity level is different coloring. So you will notice when I'll show you example on this one. Thank you for watching this video. All links to the services and website I will provide down in the descriptions. If you like videos, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, share this video so I'll have it more view. Thank you for watching and have a great day.